This is Matthew 7, starting at 1. Stop judging so that you will not be judged. Otherwise, you'll be judged by the same standard you use to judge others. The standards you use for others will be applied to you. So why do you see the piece of sawdust in another believer's eye and not notice the wooden beam in your own eye? And so with that, I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Makakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of great millstone, and peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. I'm the brother lawyer, and I teach you the great millstone Nashville Camp. Come back with a quick lesson. And this lesson will be entitled, well, I don't have a title as of right now, but let me pull up this clip. All right, so I got this clip right here, and this is from 5 days ago. But of course, the other video I had, it says 5 days ago, but I was actually looking at this one where it says Trump mulls new strikes on Iran. All right, but when I was listening to this video, basically, they're being hypocrites because you talk about, the Iranian, they out there, killing protesters and all this and that. Well, what are you doing over here in America? And that's why I read that Matthew 7, because you judging them on what they doing, saying this ain't right, they need to be free. Matter of fact, I'm a state fair use because I'm going to play this video. I'm not making any money from this video. I'm using this for fair use purposes. All right, I got the right to do that. And this is for educational purposes. So I'm going to go right back, and they're talking about what this fool is doing. All right, so let's go back a little bit.
Iran needed to join in together to fight the great Satan. Who's the great Satan? It's, of course, the United States and Israel. That fell on deaf ears. And they begin to execute again. And they begin to tell the United States.
And Satan, of course, is an adversary. Shaitan in the Hebrew. So, Babylon the Great, America, is an adversary to the world. And that's why it states that all these nations are angry at Babylon or the whore. All these nations, they're tired of America, because really the Iran don't want this war. The EU, the allies of Babylon, they don't want this war. But the small hats is pushing this war. And matter of fact, let me get something. All right, so this is what I wanted to get. The Jeremiah 50 and 45. Therefore, the counsel of the Lord that he had taken against Babylon, and this Babylon ain't ancient Babylon. This is the daughter of Babylon that this is speaking about. It says that he had purposed against the land of the Chaldeans. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate. With them the least of the flock, or the small hats over there in that land of Israel. They're the least of the flock. And they're going to draw out the Babylonian army, which is America. And they've done that. That's why they're intervening with Iran and so on and so forth. That's why they're doing that. Because the least of the flock has drawn them out. And I kind of lost my train of thought because I received a phone call. But we're going to keep playing this video.
If you get involved or intervene with our decisions to kill dissidents, it will mean war. Well, that's not going to scare this president. It's not going to scare and make us change from doing the right.
Yeah, and it's not going to stop him because he's taking orders, and word is going around, Salakia. Word is going around that, this man is sick. Am I still recording? Okay. Yeah, word is going around that this man is sick. He had a stroke. So they fear, the elites, the one that's controlling him, fear that this man is going to pass away. And so he has to hurry up and push these people's agendas. Because who else is going to do it?
Right thing. The fact of the matter is these people deserve freedom. They deserve the right to be able to live without being under an oppressive regime.
But they're doing the same thing. And in many of these uh, Iranians, which they're the Persians. Many of them saying that's not true. A lot of them are not being, killed in these different protests and stuff. Like, hey, that's not happening. It's a lie, you know. And in matter of fact, let me get something. This is Job 13:4. It says, "But ye are forgers of lies. Ye are all physicians of no value." And a physician of no value, you say you go to a doctor, you're paying him to fix a problem or to cure something, and he's just selling you lies. Oh, well, this medication, just keep taking this and it'll heal you. But it's not to heal you; it's to keep you sick, so he can give you more medication. You keep paying him. But it says, "But ye are the forger of lies," and that's all they do. They come out the womb speaking lies. That's all that they do. Speak lies the whole time. Let's keep playing the video.
We have determined that we will back the dissidents. What does that mean? Well, it can mean a number of different things. We're already, right now, the president is using economic sanctions and putting the economic pressure on. We've also let them know that we were going to hold them accountable. So their military command structure is beginning to fall. We know now from our intelligence, we have intelligence in there, we have intelligence on the ground there, that the Ayatollah, his son, and many of the leaders there are now beginning to move their assets out of Iran to Dubai and to other places. Doesn't sound to me like it's a person that thinks he's going to keep his job long when he's moving his money around.
What would our special forces be up against if they tried to capture the Ayatollah like they did with Nicolas Maduro? Because I know it wouldn't be easy. It was easier in Venezuela, but I'm assuming it'd be much more difficult to snatch Khamenei from Iran.
No, it won't.
Well, that would be a very accurate statement in the past. But
Well, yeah, in the past, because today these nations are stronger. There's Joel. It says, "Let the weak say I am strong," because they got similar technology. They got the so-called missiles. They got the firepower, the manpower. So yeah, in the past they can do that, but today it ain't gonna be like Venezuela. U.S. troops will get clapped, and that's just facts. And a lot of military commanders and generals, they know this. And that's prophesied in the scriptures that it'll be like that. Babylon, America ain't gonna win this war. This the war that's gonna end all wars. The Lord's gonna come back, take these other nations down, and put the surviving heathen into captivity. And the Israelites that don't want to come back to their heritage, they're gonna be put down. Let's keep going.
And Iran is very well aware of this. What occurred in Venezuela was breathtaking for them. We didn't just go in and defeat a foe or security forces and pull out. We put into play military hardware unseen anywhere in the world before. Their own words talking about Venezuela was suddenly everything went blank, equipment, power, everything shut down. Then immediately, only 20 special force members came in. Suddenly, everyone was paralyzed. They were having...
And matter of fact, let me pull up another scripture. Jeremiah 50:23, it says, "How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? Has Babylon become a desolation among the nations?" I got this because that's a form of America being a hammer of the whole earth. He's able to go into many other countries, tear down their governments, and go in and set up a ruler. He's able to drop missiles and bombs. Hell, he don't even have to have a military in the country. Slack, you see if I'm recording. Yeah, he don't have to have, personnel in the country. He can have a drone or whatever, go and shoot missiles or drop bombs and get the job done. And that's a new way of warfare today. It's via you having drones, what they call them, with the kamikaze drones, like what they're doing in Ukraine. That's the new way of war, basically, and robots, So the hammer of the whole earth, you see it acting out. You see it playing out. Just like before, Iraq, Syria, Libya, various other countries. The hammer of the earth is at work, but it's gonna be cut and broken down. Then the Lord's gonna do that. And it's not gonna be a long lesson. Give me 1 second. Yeah, I'm gonna keep playing this. Might get a few more scriptures and I'm gonna close it out.
Nosebleeds, headaches, paralyzed, they couldn't move.
Those are sonic or directed energy weapons, are they not?
And then I'm gonna play this. Damn it. Where's that other damn, I can't find that video I just had. Yeah, I can't find that video I just had. But anyway, I ended with some more scriptures and then that'll be it.
They are.
Could we use them in Iran?
I'm glad you mentioned that, and we could do the same thing here. Iran knows it. So, it's not like the old days where we have to bring in thousands of special forces and fight it out on the streets. We can now make a concerted, a direct assault and be very successful in doing so. And that's in the back of their minds. It's so far in the back of their minds that they've got their planes on the runway waiting to extract these members, the Ayatollahs and all, and take them to Russia. Russia, we understand, has granted them asylum should they decide.
And right. So he said, take them to Russia. All right, this is Ezekiel 38. So we know that Magog and Gog is Russia. All right, so let's see. I'm gonna get the main point. I'm gonna get verse 4, Ezekiel 38 and 4. It says, now return thee back, talking about Gog, right, which is Russia. And Meshach and Tubal consist of Turkey, which Turkey is an ally of Russia. And they're Muslims. So all the so-called Muslim or Arab, Ishmaelite countries, they're gonna come together. It says, now will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth, and all thy army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. And it says Persia, Ethiopia, Libya, with them, all of them with shield and helmet, Gomar and all his bands, which, matter of fact, Gomar also consists of Turkey. And Togomar, it says, in all his bands, the house of Togomar, the north quarters, and all his bands, and many people with thee. And it says, be thou prepared, prepare thyself. Be thou prepared and prepare for thyself, thou and all thine company that are assembled unto them, and be a guard unto them. So Russia, is going to be the main guard to Persia, because they real close. And Russia, has given them a lot of technology, of course, dealing with oil, so on and so forth. And that's how they got they're getting the what they call it, for lack of better terms, what's it called, uranium. The uranium, that's what it is. That's how they're getting the uranium to produce these different weapons, but they're not having it to say, okay, we're gonna nuke America, and then Israel. Really, of course, it's prophecy. The Lord's gonna have all this play out, but their manly mind, they're like, man, we don't want to do this, but y'all pushing us to where we gotta go to war with y'all. We don't want to do this. So many times they stated that they don't want to go to war, but the Lord, He's the one that guides the feet of man. So if He has a certain president go to war, that's just what it is. No matter what type of government, shadow government is running the show, they're not running the show. The Lord is running the show. And this is happening because of Joel 3 or 2 or 3. I believe it's 3, because all these other nations played a role in putting the nation of Israel into captivity. All right, so Lord will, this is an edifying lesson, giving all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Kakudash, Shalom.